I never thought I'd stand in a Chicago courtroom, my hands trembling around a stack of yellowed papers that smelled like my ex-husband's lies, and scream at the top of my lungs that the woman he'd replace me with was a goddamn forger who'd sell her own soul for a white picket fence. But there I was, Valerie Hayes, the fool who'd covered for Mark's embezzlement 5 years ago, staring down his new trophy wife as the judge's gavel cracked like a gunshot, exposing the fake consent form she'd slapped my signature on to steal my daughter. In that split second, the whole room erupted, gasps from the jury box, her Botox-frozen face cracking into panic, and I realized revenge wasn't just sweet, it was the only thing keeping me from crumbling into the wreckage of the life she'd tried to erase me from. It started with a phone call at 2 a.m., the kind that rips you from sleep like a bad dream you can't shake. Valerie? It's Lila. Mark's
Gone.
overdose. Pills and whiskey. Lila's voice. All southern drawl and fake sympathy, like she was reading from a script for some Lifetime movie about tragic widowers. But Mark wasn't dead. He was just high as a kite in some Vegas penthouse, chasing skirts and forgetting he had a 6-year-old daughter back in our old Lincoln Park brownstone. I'd been the one changing diapers at dawn, scraping by on waitressing shifts while he built his empire at that sleazy finance firm downtown. Empire. What a joke. It was all smoke and Ponzi schemes, and I'd known it from the start. That night, as sirens wailed outside my window overlooking Lake Michigan's choppy waves, I sat on the edge of Lily's bed, our daughter, with her wild curls and eyes that mirrored mine, not his, and whispered promises I wasn't sure I could keep. Mommy's got you, baby. Always. But Lila's call wasn't about comfort, it was a warning shot. Mark had filed for full custody the week before, claiming I was unfit, a drunk, a deadbeat. The works. Unfit? I'd raised Lily solo since he bailed, paying the mortgage with tips from slinging overpriced craft cocktails to yuppies who wouldn't know a real hangover if it bit them. And now this, his new wife. Lila Beaumont, former sorority queen turned Instagram influencer, circling like a shark in Louboutins, ready to swoop in and rescue my kid. The betrayal hit deeper than his affair.
Though.
5 years back, when the feds started sniffing around Mark's firm for cooking the books, he'd come home reeking of bourbon, eyes wild.
Val.
I fucked up. Big time. Embezzled from clients, old folks' retirement funds. If they pin it on me, I'm done. Prison. Lily. He'd collapsed at my feet, sobbing like the coward he was. And me, stupid, loyal Valerie, who just miscarried our second and was drowning in grief. I took the fall. Forged a few emails on my work laptop at the coffee shop, made it look like I'd been the one dipping into petty cash for personal reasons. A misdemeanor plea, community service, and a record that branded me unstable forever. Mark walked free, got a slap on the wrist, and 6 months later, he was shacked up with Lila, posting sun-soaked selfies from their Maui honeymoon while I fought eviction notices. I should have seen the custody battle coming. Mark had been escalating late pickups, snide texts about my bohemian lifestyle, code for the fact that I couldn't afford the private preschool he and Lila wanted for Lily. But adoption? That was nuclear. Lila's petition hit my mailbox like a brick, voluntary termination of parental rights, with my signature scrawled at the bottom in what looked like my handwriting but wasn't. She'd forged it. Sloppy. 2. The loop on the Y in Hayes was too tight, like she'd practiced on a cocktail napkin after too many roses. The first hearing was a circus. Cook County Family Court. fluorescent hell lit by buzzing lights that made everyone's skin look jaundiced. I showed up in my best thrift store blazer, Lily's hand sticky in mine from the bodega candy I'd bribed her with to sit still. Mark slouched in the back row, nursing a hangover, while Lila perched beside him like a step-forward vulture, her blonde bob impeccable, diamond studs winking under the lights. The judge, Harlan Voss, a grizzled ex-prosecutor with a mustache that screamed 80s cop show, peered over his glasses at the petition. Mrs.
Hayes.
You signed this consent. I swallowed bile.
No.
Your Honor. That's not my signature. Someone forged it. Gasps rippled through the gallery, mostly Lila's Botox brigade of friends, all pearl-clutching in pastel cardigans. Mark shifted, avoiding my eyes. But Lila? She leaned forward, voice honeyed venom. Valerie, darling, we all make mistakes under stress. Mark, and I just want what's best for sweet Lily.
Stability.
A real family.
Real family.
The words clawed at me. I'd been the real family, the one who'd rocked Lily through colic nights, taught her to ride a bike on the cracked sidewalks of our neighborhood, baked lopsided birthday cakes with Betty Crocker mixes because organic was for people with trust funds. While Mark chased deals and Lila curated her Bless Life feed, posting mom life hacks she wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Voss banged his gavel, silencing the murmurs. Forensic analysis on the signature. Counsel. Hearing adjourned 2 weeks. As we filed out, Lila brushed past me in the hallway, her perfume something floral and choking, lingering like a threat. You should let go.
Val.
For Lily's sake. We can make this easy. Her smile was all teeth. No warmth. I wanted to slap it off, but Lily tugged my sleeve. Mommy, is Daddy mad?
No.
Bug. Daddy's just confused.
Lies.
Mark had always been confused about fidelity, about fatherhood, about anything that didn't stroke his ego. That night, back in our shoebox apartment with its peeling wallpaper and view of the L train rattling by, I pored over the petition under the harsh glow of my desk lamp. The forgery was amateur hour, but the notary stamp? That was pro. Lila's doing, no doubt. She'd clawed her way from Delta Gamma pledges to real estate flips, marrying up twice before Mark. Ruthless. The kind of woman who'd Photoshop her kid's Christmas card to hide the nanny's hand. Revenge simmered in my gut like bad diner coffee. Not the explosive kind, no tires slashed, no anonymous tips to CPS. This had to be surgical, American justice style, paperwork and proof. The slow grind that breaks you before it breaks them. I called my public defender, a harried kid named Torres who smelled like menthols and looked like he'd slept in his suit. Valerie, forgery's a felony. But proving intent? Uphill. You got enemies here? Plenty. I thought of Mark's business trips, the lipstick stains on his collars I'd bleached out like my dignity. The secret I'd buried, the embezzlement rap that should have been his. The one Voss might dig up if things got dirty. Torres whistled. We'll need character witnesses. And that analysis better pan out. The 2 weeks blurred into a haze of double shifts at the Drunken Llama, a dive bar in Wicker Park where hipsters nursed IPAs and I nursed grudges. Lily stayed with my sister in the suburbs, her questions piling up like unpaid bills. Why can't I see Daddy's house? Does Lila have a pool? Yes, kiddo. A pool, a pony, and a plot to poach you. I'd tuck her in with stories of fierce queens from folklore, twisting the tales so the betrayers always got their comeuppance, not with swords, but with truths that shattered kingdoms. On the morning of the rescheduled hearing, Chicago woke under a slate-gray sky, the wind off the lake whipping my coat like it had a grudge. The courthouse loomed, all marble and menace. Security, wands beeping as I passed through. Torres met me inside, clutching the manila envelope like it was the Holy Grail. Good news.
Val.
The handwriting expert? It's a match for Beaumont's. Pressure strokes, ink flow, textbook forgery. My heart jackhammered. And the notary? Fake stamp. Bought off some underground service in Pilsen. She's cooked. The courtroom filled with the usual suspects, Mark fidgeting with his phone, Lila scrolling her feed like this was a coffee klatch. She looked up as I entered, her eyes narrowing to slits. Valerie, you look tired. Rough night. Sleepless ones run in the family, I shot back, voice steady as the L at rush hour. Lily waited outside with a bailiff, coloring books her shield against the storm. Voss called us to order, his mustache twitching like it had its own opinions. Report on the signature, Mr. Torres. Forge. Your Honor. Expert testimony enclosed. He slid the envelope across the bench. Voss flipped it open, his face darkening as he scanned the pages. Lila's lawyer, a slick weasel in pinstripes named Hargrove, jumped up. Objection. This is a witch hunt. My client signed in good faith. Good faith. Voss's voice boomed, echoing off the wood paneling. This is perjury. Counsel.
Forgery.
You want to explain the notary discrepancy? Hargrove sputtered. But Lila was already crumbling, her manicure digging into the table's edge. Mark finally looked up, pale as lake-effect snow. I stood then, the words burning my throat. Your Honor, this isn't just about a signature. It's about a lifetime of lies. Mark left us for her, but I covered for him, took the blame for his crimes so he could play house. And now they want to erase me? Adopt my daughter like I'm some footnote. The gallery hushed, breaths held. Voss's eyes flicked to me.
Sharp.
Covered for what? Mrs. Hayes. The secret clawed its way out. Embezzlement. 5 years ago. I pled guilty to keep him out of prison. For Lily. Gasps again. Louder. Hargrove moved for mistrial, but Voss overruled. Sit down. This court's about truth, not fairy tales. Lila cracked first. It's not like that. Mark promised, he said she'd sign willingly. I just helped.
Helped.
Like spiking a drink or faking a death certificate. Mark buried his face in his hands, muttering,
Val.
I didn't know. You never know.
Mark.
That's your problem. My voice cracked, but I held her gaze, Lila's, wide and wet with crocodile tears. The judge deliberated in chambers for what felt like eternity, the clock ticking like a bomb. When he returned, the room held its collective breath. Petition denied. Custody remains with Mrs.
Hayes. Full.
As for the forgery, MS.
Beaumont.
You're remanded for arraignment on felony charges. Bailiff. Cuffs clicked. Cold and final. Lila shrieked. This is insane. Valerie? You bitch, you planned this. Planned? No. Honey. I just survived it. But as they led her away, Mark cornered me in the hall, eyes pleading.
Val. Please.
Lily needs a father. And there it was, the flip. The man who'd betrayed me, who'd let his wife forge my life away, now playing the victim. Part of me wanted to hug him, to pretend we could co-parent like civilized Midwesterners. But the bigger part? It whispered, not yet. Not ever. The fallout hit like a Chicago winter, brutal, unrelenting, burying everything under layers of ice you couldn't chip away fast enough. Lila's arrest splashed across the Sun-Times the next day. Socialite influencer busted for forging adoption papers. Hubby's ex fights back. The byline painted me as the vengeful harpy. Quotes from anonymous friends calling me obsessed and unhinged. Obsessed? Damn right. With my daughter. With the scraps of justice I'd clawed from their manicured claws. Mark went radio silent. His texts a pathetic trickle. We need to talk. For Lily. Yeah.
Sure.
Talk about how you'd let your step-forward bride kidnap our kid on paper? I hunkered down in the apartment. Blinds drawn against the paparazzi drones, buzzing like angry hornets. Lily sensed the storm. Her question sharper now. Mommy, why's everyone yelling on TV? Is Lila bad? I knelt to her level, smoothing those curls that defied every brush. People make mistakes.
Bug.
Big ones. But we fix them. Together. Lies again. Sugar-coated. Lila wasn't a mistake. She was a calculated hurricane. The kind that levels trailer parks while the rich board up their McMansions. Torres called mid-morning, his voice crackling over the line like bad reception on the Kennedy Expressway.
Val.
Good news, charges stick. Bad news? Hargrove, spinning it as coercion, says you planted the evidence. And Mark? He's filing for visitation expansion, claiming emotional distress. Emotional distress. From watching his forgery flop, I laughed, bitter as black coffee. Let him. I'll bury him in depositions. But burying Mark meant digging up graves, my own, mostly. That embezzlement plea loomed like a ghost in the machine, ready to haunt any custody tweak. Voss had noted it in the hearing transcript. A footnote that could tip scales if Mark's lawyers got creative. I needed leverage. Something to flip the script harder than Lila's mood rings. Revenge wasn't done. It was evolving. From courtroom drama to shadow war. That's when I hired Frankie, a PI. From the yellow pages, ex-cop with a gut like a beer keg and eyes that missed nothing. Valerie Hayes? The adoption thing? Saw it on the news. You want dirt on the hubby? We met in a greasy spoon-off Halstead. Forks scraping plates of hash browns while Elvis crooned from the jukebox. Frankie slurped his joe, leaning in. Mark's cleanish now, legit broker at a loop firm. But Lila? Girl's got skeletons. Divorced twice before him. First hubby? Accused her of siphoning his 401k. Dropped charges, reconciliation. Second? Vanished after signing over the house.
Poof.
Private jet to Aruba. My ass.
Siphoning.
Echoes of Mark's old scams. Dig deeper. Emails, texts, anything tying her to the forgery. Frankie nodded. Grease-slicked napkin to his mouth. On it. But watch your back.
Val.
These types don't lose quiet. He wasn't kidding. 2 days later, my inbox pinged with an anonymous email, a grainy photo of me at the bar.
Mit pour.
Timestamped from months back. Caption: Unfit mother serves booze to minors? Bullshit, I carded everyone. Ran a tight ship. But the angle? From inside. Someone on staff. Bought off. Lila's reach. Long as her fake lashes. I forwarded it to Torres, who cursed in Spanish. Harassment. We countersue for defamation. The countersuit filed. I turned to the streets. Old school American grit. I hit up Mark's old poker buddies at the VFW Hall in Logan Square, nursing flat beers while vets swapped war stories. 1. A grizzled Korean vet named Sal pulled me aside after hearing my name. Hayes, Mark's ex?
Kid.
He owes you. Back in 18, after you took that plea,
He bragged about it.
said you were his get-out-of-jail-free card. Laughed like it was a punchline. Sal slid me a burner phone number.
Call this.
Ex-client he stiffed. Might talk for the right price. The ex-client was Mrs. Delgado, a widow from Pilsen whose nest egg Mark had invested into vapor. Her voice trembled over the line, thick with accent. Señora Hayes. He promised returns. Took everything, my husband's pension. When I sued, he countersued, said I was fraudulent.
But you.
You went to court for him?
Dios mío.
She agreed to testify. Her story a mirror to mine, betrayal wrapped in fine print. Armed with that, I prepped for the visitation hearing, a rubber stamp affair. Or so Mark thought. But Lila's arraignment had twisted her. She showed up gaunt. No makeup. Her lawyer, Hargrove, looking like he'd aged a decade. Voss presided again, mustache quivering with impatience. Mr. Hayes seeks expanded access. Objections. Mrs. Hayes. Torres stood, voice steady. Your Honor. New evidence. Witness statements linking Mr. Hayes to prior financial misconduct, including the incident Mrs. Hayes referenced. He dropped the Delgado deposition like a mic. The gallery buzzed, Mark's sister in the front row, fanning herself with a program. Lila whispered furiously to Hargrove, who paled. Mark took the stand. Ty Askew, sweat beading on his forehead like morning dew on a grave. I love my daughter. Valerie's great. But the drinking, the instability.
Lies.
Slimy as Lake Michigan smelt. I cross-examined, voice ice. Instability? Like forging documents to steal her. Mark? Or letting your wife harass me with doctored photos. Objection. Hargrove barked, but Voss waved it off. Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Hayes. Mark crumbled, mumbling about pressures and Lila's initiative.
Cute.
Then Mrs. Delgado shuffled up, Bible in hand, her rosary clicking like gunfire. He took my money.
Señor.
Lied to my face. And she, nod to me, paid for it. Good woman. Deserves her Nina. The tide turned. Voss leaned back. Fingers steepled. Visitation granted, supervised. Twice monthly. And Mr. Hayes. Any more games? And it's contempt. Gavel down. Mark stormed out, Lila trailing like a ghost. But not before she hissed at me in the elevator. You think you won? This isn't over. Lily's better off without your trailer trash drama. Trailer trash. From the queen of foreclosed flips. I laughed, the sound echoing in the steel box. Keep telling yourself that, Lila. Mirrors crack easy, but victory tasted like ash. That night, Lily curled against me on the couch, PBS kids droning in the background. Mommy, Daddy cried today. On the phone, my ex, sniveling to our kid about mean mommy. The betrayal looped, endless as the L trains rumble. I'd protected her from his mess once. Now, I wondered if shielding her meant letting him in at all. Forgiveness? That's for Hallmark cards. Revenge? It was the scar tissue keeping my heart beating. Frankie's next drop came encrypted. A USB drive slipped under my door, like contraband. Jackpot.
Val.
Lila's emails hacked her assistant's cloud. She's been shopping Lily's story to tabloids. Tragic mom versus vengeful ex and Mark? He's dipping again offshore accounts. Same old playbook. Screenshots glowed on my laptop. Transfers to Cayman shells. Memos plotting asset protection from her legal fees. History rhyming. Bloody as a blues lyric. The twist gnawed at me.
Confront them? Leak it?
Or play the long game. Let the feds circle back like they had 5 years ago? I paced the kitchen. Linoleum creaking under my socks. The city lights smearing across the window like guilty fingerprints. Lily's nightlight cast stars on the ceiling, innocent, unblinking. For her, I'd burn it all. But how far was too far? That was the American dilemma. Justice or vendetta? Pick your poison. The leak hit on a Friday. Black Friday irony. As Chicago choked on holiday traffic and fake cheer. I didn't pull the trigger. Frankie swore it was an anonymous tip to the SEC, but his grin said otherwise. By noon, Mark's firm was crawling with suits and cheap ties, hauling servers like they were smuggling kilos. The Trib blared it online. Broker busted in embezzlement redux, ex-wife's revenge or coincidence. My name in the subhead. A scarlet letter. Phones blew up, Torres yelling for damage control. My sister offering to hide Lily in Milwaukee. Even Sal from the VFW leaving a voicemail. Atta girl.
Val.
Give M hell. Hell, I'd lit the match. But the fire spread wild. Lila posted a tearful video from home, makeup artfully smudged, croaking about persecution and family values under attack. Views skyrocketed, trolls piling on. Free Lila trending in the Midwest bubble. Mark vanished again. This time to a wellness retreat in Sedona. His lawyer claiming stress leave. Stress. Try cuffs.
Buddy.
I should have felt triumph. That cathartic rush from every revenge flick. Gone Girl meets the firm. Instead,
It hollowed me.
Lily came home from school with a crayon drawing, stick figure family. Me and her and a blob labeled Daddy plus mean lady with X's for eyes. Teacher said families fight but make up. Will we? Her lip quivered, and I pulled her close, inhaling the scent of glue and innocence. Sometimes, bug. But ours? It's unbreakable. Unbreakable. Famous last words. The call came at dusk, as snow flurried past the L tracks, turning the city into a gritty snow globe. Unknown number, but I knew the voice, hoarse, broken.
Val?
It's Mark. Don't hang up. Static crackled, like he was calling from a bunker. I need to see you. The cabin.
Tonight.
Please, for Lily. The cabin. Our old love nest up in Door County, Wisconsin, a ramshackle A-frame we'd bought for pennies during a fresh start phase, before the lies piled higher than the drifts. Abandoned now, except for cobwebs and regrets. Why there? I pressed, heart thudding against my ribs. Because it's neutral.
And.
I have something for you.
Proof.
About Lila.
Proof.
The word dangled like bait. Against my gut, I agreed. Packed Lily off to my sister's with promises of hot cocoa and board games. Then hit I-94 North. Wipers slapping slush. Radio spitting Springsteen anthems about busted dreams. The drive blurred, Milwaukee's lights fading to black fields. Then the peninsula's twisty roads. Pines bowing under snow like weary sentinels. The cabin loomed dark against the lake. Superior's waves growling in the distance. My headlights caught Mark's rental Beamer. Snow-dusted. He waited on the porch, bundled in a parka that swallowed him. Face gaunt under the bug light's buzz. Val. One word. Cracked like thin ice. I brushed past. Boots crunching gravel. The door creaking open to stale air and ghosts. Inside. A single lamp glowed, casting his shadow long across the pine walls. Papers scattered the coffee table, bank statements, emails, a laptop humming softly. Sit, he said, voice small. I perched on the edge of the sagging couch, every nerve screaming trap. What is this?
Mark?
Your Hail Mary? He collapsed into the armchair, rubbing temples.
Worse.
Lila. She didn't just forge the consent. She planned it from the jump. Hired a fixer, some ex-con from her first divorce, to tail you. Plant that bar photo. And the emails? She's been bleeding me dry.
Val.
Offshore.
Yeah. But not mine. Hers.
Laundering real estate kickbacks through my accounts. When the adoption flopped, she flipped, blamed me, threatened to pin it all on you again. Me again. The fall guy. Eternally. I snatched a printout. Lila's Gmail. Timestamped months back. Target. Valerie Hayes. Leverage. Criminal record. Substance abuse narrative. Asset. Child custody transfer for PR boost. PR boost. My stomach roiled. She wanted Lily for likes? Jesus. Mark. No insurance. Stable image for her flips. Perfect family sells houses. He laughed.
Hollow.
I found it last week. Confronted her. She laughed, said I'd lose everything if I talked. But after the SEC, I can't.
Val.
Lily can't grow up with this poison. Poison. The word hung, thick as wood smoke. I studied him, older. Lines etched deeper than lake wrinkles. The man I'd loved. The monster I'd shielded. Why tell me? Why not the cops? Because they won't believe me. Not without you. Your testimony, the plea deal, it ties back. We go public together. Expose her whole game. For Lily, his eyes pleaded, wet. The flip again, betrayer to ally. In a heartbeat. Controversial as hell. Forgive, team up, or watch him sink. Collateral be damned. Outside. Wind howled, rattling windows like accusations. I thought of Lily's drawing. The X's on Lila's eyes. Of Voss's gavel. The cuffs click. One condition, I said finally. Full truth. No more secrets. And if you screw me, I won't. He extended a hand.
Trembling.
I took it. Skin cold as betrayals bite. We talked till dawn, his regrets. My rage. The plot crystallizing. Anonymous drop to the feds. My affidavit linking it to the forgery. Dawn broke gray over the lake. Gulls crying like witnesses. Back in Chicago. The storm broke wider. Lila's empire crumbled. Arrest warrants for fraud. Her feed going dark mid-sob story. Mark turned state's evidence. trading his slaps for immunity, vanishing into witness protection with a promise to send Lily letters from Uncle Mike in some nowhere town.
Me?
Custody ironclad. No visitation strings. I quit the bar. Enrolled in night classes for paralegal certs, turning scars to armor. One deposition at a time. But the twist? Months later. A letter arrived. No return address. Postmarked Sedona. Lila's script. Loopy and defiant. You think you won.
Val?
Mark's gone because of you. Our fresh start. Ruined. Lily's half his. She'll hate you for it someday. Truce? Or round two. Enclosed. A photo of Lily at the park. Snap-candid my girl. Swinging high. Oblivious. Round two. The choice loomed. Divisive as a red state divide. Burn the letter. Block the number. Raise her fierce and free, or chase the ghost. Risk the cycle for one last kill shot? Readers, you decide. Mercy's the real revenge. Or is it just weakness in heels? In America's endless grudge match, no one's hands stay clean. Mine? Smeared with ink and ice. But holding tight to the only win that mattered, her hand in mine, swinging toward whatever dawn we forged next.